Hi everyone, welcome to Adventure of a Lifetime, Chisa's Route, Episode 1. So I'm going to be playing Chisa's Route from here, and I also went back and made sure that I chose all the right options that will allow me to go to Chisa's Route at the end of the common route, which I believe is going to be here. So near the end of the common route, Episode 10, the Machiko and her group, they were serving shark burgers, and it was a hot commodity because shark meat is very rare. But Ryota managed to catch a really big one, and Hiroki sadly gets to be the person who does all the hard work, so frying up all those patties, and added with the service of Emily and Chisa dressed in yutakas, there was a pretty big line for shark burgers, and Shinami also got to eat one as well. And now that they've run out of shark burgers, the crowd has settled down, and it's time for break. So Ryota's like, well, Hiroki, you go on break, and one of you girls go on break, because there has to be one who continues to serve the customers for iced coffee and the other refreshments, like smoothies. So like, who do you want to take on break? So Hiroki gets to decide, actually we get to, and let's see what happens if Hiroki decides to take Chisa out, or go together with Chisa to break. So, let's begin the individual character route. Okay, so, alright Chisa, so you ready to go on break? Wait, me? So why are you so surprised? Says Hiroki. Well, I thought you'd pick her because she looks better than me in the yutaka, and I was jealous with the well, what are you talking about? And I said I want to go with you. Okay, so it's okay. So let me and Ryota take care of the shop. So are you ready to go, Chisa? So Chisa joined me, but seemed really nervous for some reason. Okay, so you can hear, or he can hear, those footsteps of Chisa, because I'm pretty sure she's wearing wood sandals. So the sound of, let's see, Geta walking behind me could be heard. And I slow down. So Chisa smiled at me, slightly embarrassed, as she came up alongside. Well, that's true, because well, the wood is just glued together, and it raises your feet off the ground, and obviously it doesn't really have good grip on the beach sand. So she should look like she wasn't used to walking in her yutaka. I'm sure that's true for many people. Well, I guess well, I wonder what she was dressed in for the other festivals, because she's born here and she's pretty much seen this kind of event for her whole life. So I was like, well, Emily wore it, so I don't want to lose to her, so I wanted to wear one as well. So why not? Because I think it looks great on you. But at least she's just happy that Hiroki admires her in a yutaka. So what's wrong then? Nothing? Ah, strange person. Hey, but maybe, but you were childhood friends. You probably would understand her. maybe she didn't want me to see her dressed up like that because we've been friends since we were kids. And that explained why she wouldn't walk next to me, but stayed a few steps behind. So I wonder what else Chisa's thinking of that's kind of making her uneasy with Hiroki. But to be honest, this was better for my nerves. But on the other side, Hiroki's also quite nervous as well. The fact that he's walking with someone that he's been with before. Even though I was so used to being around Chisa, with her dressed in a yutaka, I was mostly at a loss for words. Well, for the moment, we maintained an awkward distance as we walked around the festival. So in the main area was a wooden stage with people dancing in a circle around it and more food stalls, just like our own. Well, it's as lively as ever. Well, I think it's like, maybe when Hiroki went to this place many years ago, at least 4 years ago, it was probably quiet, and he didn't really get to see the progression of having more and more stalls and more people attend. Whereas Chisa was able to see it. Because like just suddenly seeing something after 4 years, it's quite a big surprise. Well, we have a Bond festival back home, but it's nowhere near as exciting as here. Oh, okay, so Hiroki's used to the one back at his place, and it's probably really quiet and lack of participation and such. And wait, so what's wrong with that? So, well, what am I supposed to know about other places? Because I've pretty much been here all my life and I haven't really left the islands. So Chisa's mood darkened as she spoke. So do you want to dance since you're all dressed up and everything? I guess so. And so, despite Chisa's grumpy face, when I entered the dance circle, she followed right after. So Chijima's Bond Festival was well known for being rather intense. And along with having a lot of people, it seemed like everyone had their own bit of style to add to the dance. Oh, interesting. And tourists often get swept into the action as well, so in the end it was a great mix of young, old, women, and men, and it was really fun. Ooh, so the fact that you have a pretty big crowd dancing, that's gonna be exciting, and no one's afraid of each other, no one's embarrassed because everyone's doing it. Oh, so it went like this. Okay, so they're trying to dance and they're having trouble following along, and both Chisa and Hiroki have different opinions on how it's done. So Chisa showed me the moves and I copied her as I danced. And I'm pretty sure Chisa's like, no, that's not how you do it. It looks wrong and it's supposed to be like this. It's like this, you mean? Okay, so it looks like Hiroki was able to get the pattern, the feeling. Well, I was always really excited about the Bond Festival when I visited as a kid. So about Miss Machiko. Well, this was my first time at the Bond Festival since I was in elementary school, and I almost felt like a little kid again. So things like, well, back home, it wasn't very exciting, there's nothing interesting, so there was no point of going to it, just let it slide, and just another day. But it's like, well, this one's more special, lots of people attending, and I pretty much have to get along with the spirit. So, say, Chisa, do you come every year? Oh, so for Chisa, she skipped out on it quite some time as well. Is that so?
なんで?
So what are you asking? Nothing? So all those summers I spent away, the only thing I could do was reminisce about the Bond Festival and the time I spent here. So things like, well, since you and Emily are here, it's a very rare experience to enjoy the Bond Festival with many people, so I should go. So naturally, I assumed that Chisa, Ryota, and Chinami all continued going to the festival even when I wasn't here. But I guess I was wrong. It was probably too embarrassing to go to the local festival after a certain age. But then again, you mentioned that it was an event for everyone. And then we heard someone off to the side say, "Hey, isn't that the dolphin girl?" Uh-oh. So one of the tourists dancing seemed to realize who Chisa was. And once the others caught a glimpse of the dolphin girl in the yutaka, the crowd gathered. Uh-oh. Ooh, look, it's Dolphin Girl! Oh, hello, pictures, autograph. And just like a celebrity. So Chisa couldn't focus on dancing with so many people watching her. Well, it kind of puts pressure on her. It's like, well, now everyone's watching how I dance, and it's probably a chance for more photos, unwanted photos. Well, I couldn't stand to see her so uncomfortable, so I made a suggestion. Okay, so wanna get out of here then?
どこに?
So where are we gonna go to then? Oh, let's just go see the fireworks. It's about time, right?
ああ、そっか。行く。
Okay, let's go. So having found the perfect pretense, Chisa and I excuse ourselves from the Bond dance circle. So, come on, I want to see how you dance.
嫌になっちゃうよ。
So we want to see how you dance so we can get pictures and we can share it with all of our friends and even make more videos of it. And it's already embarrassing enough for that little, I'll say like that little broadcast or biography for Chisa. Haha, yeah, you complained, but you didn't ask them to go away. Well, it's hard to, because that's gonna make people angry.
しょうがないじゃない。島の発展のためだとか言われちゃったらさ。
So things like, well, if I tell them to go away, it feels like I'm like a party pooper. I'm trying to ruin the aura, the feeling, the general attitude of this place. So the Dolphin Girl character had already become a draw for tourists, and was apparently way more famous than I or Chisa had thought. So you go, come on, you need to be a good person, you need to act well, you need to be this Dolphin Girl so that we can have more people here, more tourism, and... But then again, one big problem is that there's only one port of entry, which is the ferry. And I think they should increase the frequency of the ferries, or maybe have an airport on the side.
九太郎を触ろうと追いかけ回す人もいたりして、結構困ってるのよね。
But then again, these tourists don't respect wildlife, and they're trying to touch. So Finn's name in Japanese is actually Kyutaro. Not sure why they call it Finn, but anyways, it's quite bad that they're touching Finn and making Finn feel uncomfortable. But there's no way they'll catch him, right? I don't think that's a problem.
まあね、逆にからかって遊んでるけど。
But then again, he chases them and plays with them. So I don't think the problem of Finn being caught is an issue. It's more like he's not respecting wildlife and they're touching him. And usually you're supposed to only watch them and leave them alone, because they have their own habitat, they have their own lifestyle. So as we walked out, I let Chisa vent, we slowly made our way to Omura Beach. And the firework display was held the same day as the Bon Festival. And the best place to watch it was from Omura Beach. So quite a few people out.
だね。
Well, the beach wasn't totally packed, but a large crowd of people that had come to watch the fireworks. And there were families, group of friends, but the couple stood out of the most. So then Chisa moved in closer to me and took my hand.
こうしてないと不仲カップルみたいに見えちゃうでしょ。
Okay. She said, her voice full of resignation. Well, I guess that would be a problem seeing we do get along and such. So things like, well, let's not hold hands because I don't want people to mistake us as a couple because that's gonna draw more attention. Like, oh, Dolphin Girl has a boyfriend, and that's another big headline that she does not want.
そういうこと。
Well, of course, it didn't matter to me how we looked to other people. But if it meant that we could hold hands, that was fine with me. So we hold hands all the time as kids. I'm sure that's different.
そうだったかしら。
And I think Chisa forgot. So Chisa looked like she was feigning ignorance at my remark. So back when we were kids, we didn't need a reason to hold hands. We just wanted to hold hands, so we did, and that was reason enough. So I guess growing up meant that we needed to explain the reason behind our actions now. I think it's more like as you grow older, you become more aware of yourself. So with that thought in mind, I looked at my childhood friend who was growing into a young woman.
何？
So what is it then? Well, I was just remembering how tomboyish you used to be.
悪かったわね。女の子っぽくなくて。
Really? She looked away in irritation, her ponytail swinging around viciously. And all that was ancient history. And every so often there were small glimpses of the old Chisa, but she was anything but a tomboy now.
だから、そんなに見ないでってば。
So what's wrong? Why not?
なんでって、そりゃ。
And then, slightly from the distance, we heard a shrill whistling noise pierce through the air. Oh, so it looks like the fireworks has started. So together with the low swell of an explosion, a flower of light bloomed into the night sky.
始まった。
Okay, it's starting. Wow. So all across the beach, peaks of excitement could be heard. And as the fireworks went up one after another, Chisa and I watched, speechless. Wow, this is pretty!
久しぶりに見ると綺麗だね、花火。
Okay. So you didn't come to see the fireworks?
家の窓から眺めるくらいだったかな。
Well, if your window has a really good view, no trees blocking the way, then you can see it. But over time, trees grow taller and they block your view, and you have to get to the right place to see the fireworks. Oh man, that's such a waste though, So these fireworks were so close and she didn't even have to worry about bad traffic.
だって、つまんないんだもん。
Well, if you watch it too much, then it gets boring. Okay, that makes sense. Wait, you're kidding, right? Well, I didn't understand how anyone could call this spectacle, the continuous shower of light in the sky, boring. Well, I think it's more like if you watch it all the time, it's going to be the same old thing over and over again. Though you may have different firework patterns, new array of colors, but It's still just gonna be fireworks. Or did something like this just got boring after seeing it year after year? There you go.
そんなことあるよ。
She just said as she raised her face.
今夜はそうでもないけどさ。
But tonight's different. So the brilliant rainbow colors of each explosion of light in the dark sky made her eyes shine. But the light becomes distorted by tears.
盆踊りも花火も半分だよ。パディがいないと。
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's like, well, you're here, so the event is more exciting. Chisa?
なんてね。
I'm sure she really does mean that. She's just trying to joke around with Hiroki.
私はこの島しか知らないから、よそから来た人たちみたいにありがたみがわかんないんだよね。
So as she just joked around, she finally noticed that I've been staring at her.
ヒロキ？何よさっきから。
So I
私のことなん
wonder
かじっと見て。
what Chisa reminds Hiroki of. Because like, I'm trying to think of something.
なんか照れるんですけど。
Making me nervous. Well, you're so different from than you used to be. It's like you're really grown up now.
浴衣効果かな。
Well, could be.
うーん
So she glared at me. And when we were little, Chisa always said it was too hard to run in a yutaka, so she never wore one. That makes sense. And she still complained now, but she was still wearing one. She had grown inwardly and outwardly into a young woman that looked good in a yutaka. And as I looked at Chisa, I could feel my heart racing and my palms getting sweaty. So I moved my gaze to the display above in an attempt to hide my nervousness. So Chisa, why don't you go scuba dive anymore? Ah, okay, so that question that Hiroki's been thinking about.
めんどくさいから。
Real pain? I think it's just like, well, it's really hard, or it's tiresome to get into all those equipment. Is that the only reason?
それだけだよ。なんで？
Yeah. Because you really love diving, so you like going underwater.
素潜りでも潜れるじゃん。
Yeah, I do dive. I just wear a swimsuit, go underwater, and voila. That was true. So Jesus' free diving went well beyond the kind of a good swimmer level. And when you're that good at swimming, scuba gear might slow you down. It's like, well, you have to take care of all this clunky equipment, and the tanks are not aerodynamic, the goggles are not aerodynamic, and all those equipment is not aerodynamic, so it makes it really hard for me to swim around.
どうしてそんなこと聞くの？
It's just been bothering me. I guess I kind of thought it was my fault though. Especially after the last time we went diving, remember?
うぬぼれすぎ。
So what happened during that time? It's like,
なになに？自分のせいで私が大好きなことをやめちゃったって思ってた？
wait, do you honestly believe I would quit doing something I loved? Ah, never mind. I never should have asked then. So I guess, like, well, I should understand that Chisa is kind of diving. She's just wearing a swimsuit, no goggles, no snorkel, and there may be a reason why. And I shouldn't have mistaken it as, oh, I've given up on scuba diving. So I only asked because I was worried, but now I've heard all of this.
マチコばあちゃん、本当にこの夏で店を閉める気なんだね。
So change topic. So what about that shop? It seems like it. She had grown tired over the years, but after the problem with her legs, she couldn't take it anymore. We had a long and difficult conversation about it. Well, I really wish I could take over the shop now. But I'm pretty sure the grandma's like, no, you go back home, you stay there, don't ever come back. I'm gonna run the shop, I'll close it down, and I'm gonna let it retire and fade into history. That was obviously impossible. I hadn't even finished high school. That makes sense as well.
寂しくなるな。カフェマチコがなくなっちゃったら。
So I wonder what memories this place has, like how much historical value it has. Or it's just another ordinary shop, and it's just because it was run by Hiroki's grandparents. Yeah, I know a lot of locals won't take it very well. And over half the customers were regulars that lived on the island.
それに、マチコばあちゃんの店がなくなっちゃったら、ヒロキが島に来る理由もなくなっちゃうね。
So well, if I close this place down, or if she closes the place down, then there's no reason to visit anymore, and you probably won't see me again. Huh?
夏が終わったら。
Well, obviously at some point, Hiroki's gonna have to go back to mainland because he still has school to do, and he pretty much lives there. So Chisa's melancholy voice was mostly drowned out by the sound of fireworks, and I could barely hear her. What? I'm sorry. The fireworks were really, really loud.
別に。ほら、見て見て。花火綺麗だよ。
So apparently Chisa doesn't want to talk with Hiroki about this right now. I think she's too embarrassed to admit her true feelings, like, well, I'm gonna miss you if you do go back to the mainland. So the fireworks are pretty, but I couldn't hear myself or turn myself away from the somber expression ever present on Chisa's face. Okay, so when we got back to the festival grounds, Chisa dropped my hand and ran over to the others.
たっだいまー。
I'm back, says Chisa.
おかえり。
おかえりなさい、チサ。ねえ、花火見てきたの？どうだった？
So Emily's asking, so how's the fireworks?
いやー、綺麗だね。日本の夏といえば花火だね。
So even though Chisa says like, well, they're so great, they're excellent, I wonder what she really thinks inside.
いいなー。
So Emily said, jumping excitedly.
店番変わるからエミリーたちも言っといでよ。
Okay, so it's time for us to take over and watch the shop. So you and Ryota go. Oh, okay. So I think it's like taking turns going to the fireworks event.
ちなみ行くわよ。
Oh, so Emily gets to go with Chinami.
あいあいさ。
Sir? Okay, so Ryota, you go as well. I'll handle the stall. I'll take over.
おう、頼んだ。
早くしないと終わっちゃ
Okay, so better go before it's over.
う。急ぎましょう。
Okay, so the three of them headed off to Omura Beach.
さてと、いらっしゃいませ。アイスコーヒーとスムージーいかがですか？
And now back to work for Chisa and Hiroki. So no need to work, it's so hard, there's hardly anything left to sell. So go on, well, we're almost out of everything, so we shouldn't rush, because there's still some time before the event ends.
そう？でも何もしないでいるのも退屈だし。
But I think it's like, well, if we sell everything out quickly, then we can close up early, and maybe Chisa and Hiroki can join the rest in the fireworks event. So with the fireworks going, most of the festival grounds were empty, and even so, Chisa called out to a few customers around. It was then that I began to suspect that she was avoiding me. Uh-oh. Not a good sign. Hey, Chisa.
いらっしゃいませ。冷たくて美味しいアイスコーヒーはいかがですか？
So she acts busy, it's like, hey, I'm serving someone right now. Hey, what did you say earlier?
ん
I forgot? So something about being left behind.
そんなこと言ったっけな。大したことじゃないから忘れて。
So I was like, well, never mind. Just forget about it because it's nothing important. So Chisa laughed as she tried to avoid the topic.
お、いらっしゃいませ。アイスコーヒーですね。500円です。ひろき、アイスコーヒー一つ。
Coming up! Though we had been close enough to hold hands earlier, I suddenly felt a gaping distance between Chisa and me. Okay, so it looks like the focus is back on Emily, and now they're diving again. And it looks like Emily's practice is getting much better. So even in the waters this clear, the sun's rays couldn't reach far enough to light up the rusted ship lying ominously on the ocean floor. And following a sign from the instructor, we swam around the ship. Or following a sign, okay. So we were in the middle of a wreck diving course. And wrecking was a little bit different from your average dive. So I wonder what Hiroki means. So there were special skills and procedures for getting close to or inside shipwrecks that we needed to learn. And this was all part of our preparation for exploring the ghost ship. So in a sense, they're going in physically as a body, in contrast to the Titanic, where they actually had underwater vehicles, and they basically just used the vehicle to crawl around the ship. And I think, well, even though it protects you from high pressure, it's also a good armor in case something falls on you. So the course will take about 2 days. But today was our last day. So 2 days happened so quickly that we didn't really realize it. So the instructor put up the signal that it was time to head back to the boat. And Emily and I gave the OK signal and began our ascent to the surface. Okay, so I wonder what Emily wants Chisa for. So Emily, her head bobbing above the surface of the water, waved over to Chisa, who was waiting in the boat.
ねえ、チサ、聞いて。この下にね、昔の沈没船があってね。それでね、その周りを私たち泳いだのよ。
Okay.
はいはい、そのくらい知ってますよ。私はこれでもダイビングショップの娘ですからね。
Well, after all, we're the teachers, so we've seen this many times.
何あれ、腹立つわね。ダイビングショップの娘なら客の話に付き合いなさいよ。
That makes sense. Like, well, if it's your family shop, maybe you should treat us customers with better care rather than giving us this really, I'll say, disinterested look.
はあ、暑い。さっさと帰ってクーラー効いた部屋でお昼寝したいわ。
I'm tired. It's hot. Let's just go and get some AC, get cooled down.
ねえ、ヒロ君、あの子どうしちゃったの？
I don't think Hiroki can explain what's going on. Well, beats me. There you go. So Chisa had come with us just as a chaperone. Her family shop was running the course, so she was required to be there, but I think she was bored to stay on the ship. So what does Finn or Kutar has to say about this? So Finn falls alongside the cruiser, just desperate for some attention from Chisa. But she made no move to dive into the water.
暑いならあなたも泳げばいいじゃない。気持ちいいわよ。
So, well, if you're staying here on the surface with your coat on, it's obviously going to be hotter for you.
そんな気分じゃない。
Oh, well, I don't feel like it anymore. Oh, come on! Join me, says Finn. So with a flick of his tail, Finn sent a shower of water back onto the deck and over Chisa.
ありがとう。ちょっと涼しくなった。
Well, here's some water to help you since you're hot. But I think it's like, well, I still want you to join me.
いつもなら怒って海に飛び込んでショウアルイルカを追い回すのに。
This is not the usual Chisa that I notice. You usually go with Chisa or Finn down the water to go after him.
ねえ、戻りの日に何かあったでしょう、あなたたち。
Well, that's obviously yes, but it's really hard for Hiroki to explain. Well, I don't know if I go that far, but well, the only vaguely significant thing I could think of was we held hands for the first time in years. And nothing else. So the atmosphere made it seem like it was something could have happened.
それか、あれかしら。テレビ出演の話、まだ怒ってる？
Or maybe still upset about the fact that we embarrassed her. We were watching her little broadcast. I guess so. I'm sure Hiroki knows the real reason, and he doesn't want Emily to know about it. It's like, well, it's going to be very complicated, so I'm just going to go along with what Emily's thinking. So Chisa had gotten into an argument with Ryota over her going on TV.
やだって言ってるでしょ。
そこをなんとかちょっとだけでいいからさ。
Please, that'll be great. It's a good opportunity for you. So Ryota put his hands together and bowed his head. So, please, 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 anything.
こないだもそう言ってがっつり出演させられたわ。おかげでおちおち散歩もできやしない。
So it's like, well, last time you embarrassed me, you made me have my own show, and now everyone knows me for that. So I don't want to do it again.
もう金輪際出演はお断りだからね。
Well, no more TV for me.
一体どうしたの？
So I wonder when this happened. Or this was probably right before they took the wrecking lessons.
イルカ少女にまたテレビ出演のオファーがあったのです。しかし小姉はそれを拒否。亮太がああして必死に説得しているという状況です。
So I wonder what led to it. Like did Ryota sign her up again, or did someone else? They found a new opportunity for Chisa to take.
島のいい PR になるんだからさ。お前だってその方がいいだろ。店も繁盛するんだし。
Well, even though that's all good, things like how does it benefit Chisa herself? It's like well, it helps this island, it helps tourism, it helps your family's business. But it's like if Chisa doesn't like it, then there's no way that he's going to convince her with all those reasons. Like, well, if she likes it, she thinks that it's going to help her, then that makes more sense. It's like, well, what about me? So there was no denying that more people had been coming to the diving shop since Chisa made her TV debut. Her dad was so happy, and he even put up a poster of his famous daughter. Though the way Chisa stared at it, I was surprised it hadn't burst into flames yet. But then again, it's like, well, if I destroy the poster, then I'm going to be in big trouble with the dad who, while I'm proud of it, I think it looks good in the shop, and it's a good treasure, and if you burn it, it's like destroying a treasure.
こんな恥ずかしい思いするのもう二度とやだ。それに九太郎も見せ物じゃない。
チサ、どこ行くんだよ。
Oh, come back here. I haven't finished talking.
ロータの泣き落としが通じないとは、グアニ相当な覚悟だな。
And I don't think Chinami understands what's going on. Like, well, it's a good opportunity that Chisa wants to throw out the window. Oh, Chisa. So ever since then, she hadn't been in the best of the moods. So that probably happened between the end of the Bond Festival and this wrecking lesson. So Emily climbed into the boat and removed her diving cylinder.
テレビくらい出てあげればいいのに。あなたのおかげで観光客が増えたんでしょ?
But I don't think it's all bad, and plus, it did help in all sorts of ways. But things that Jesus hates the TV broadcast.
じゃあ自分が出れば、エミリーの方が美人なんだからきっと喜ばれるわよ。
I think it's like, well, if you're very confident about the TV show, if you think it's all good, why don't you take place of me and go live? And plus, you look prettier. You are idol material.
そうかしら。出ていいなら出るけど。
But I think it's like, well, but Emily doesn't have enough special charm that Chisa has. Because Chisa with Finn, Chisa and Finn, Chisa and Kyutaro.
問題は、小悪イルカが私の言うことを聞くかどうかよね。
So Emily called out to Finn to demonstrate her point.
おいで、九太郎。撫でてあげるわよ。
I don't think it's gonna do anything. Pass.
無視された。やっぱり性格歪んでるわ、あのイルカ。
No, I think it's just that Finn isn't really attached to Emily as he is to Chisa. So if it is fame that bothers you, Chisa, well, all the people are coming up to you in the streets and stuff, right?
そんなんじゃありません。
No? I'm pretty sure that's a yes. Well, I hope that she'll say more. So basically, she's making Hiroki having to guess about why she hates being on TV again with Finn. Sorry, mad at me then?
別に。
No, not really. She turned away. Well, she's been this way since the Bond Festival, and I think it's probably because of me. I did something wrong. Or maybe she was angry about something I should have done but didn't. Hey, Chisa, over here, says Finn. There you go. So Finn called out affectionately to Chisa.
九太郎も仲間のところへ帰りなさい。
Hey, you should go join your other dolphins, Finn. Really? Why? So reluctantly, the dolphins swam off toward open waters. So they go, oh well, fine. So Emily and I let out a heavy sigh, and we weren't getting anywhere at this rate.
私ね、今日の講習でがぜん自信がついたわ。
Okay, so back at the Machiko Cafe, looks like something's going on.
今すぐ幽霊船に潜って指輪を取ってこられそうな気がするの。
But anyways, I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to the ghost ship. So Emily was still excited from the experience she had gained during the wreck diving course. And she completely ignored the excited Emily and only seemed to get even more lethargic.
そんなに甘くないんだからね。事故があれば命に関わるんだから。
So you're falling back to your old instincts, the fact that you think you can do anything. But not knowing about the dangers and the precautions.
知ってるわ。座学で習ったもの。
Well, even if they tell you, you have to make sure it's in your heart so you'll follow it every time you dive. So aside from the open water instruction, there was also a classroom portion to the course. So after a bit more practice, we can finally get to planning our trip. So how to approach this sunken ghost ship. So I opened up the pamphlet and set it down on the table. So before it sank, the ghost ship had been a commercial yacht. Ooh, nice. And we were lucky enough to get some of the old pamphlets that were used for advertising, complete with the layout of the ship. So I wonder if it is a one-of-a-kind or it's like a mass-produced one. So do you know which cabin was used by your parents? Ask me this one, says Emily. So let me point to a room on the map. So I'm pretty sure it was left in this room, so great, so that's just the news that we need. Well, we were planning to explore the ship over a number of diving sessions. We've already gotten close to the wreck as part of Emily's ongoing training. And during those dives, I used my underwater camera to take pictures of the exterior of the ship. And with the photos and pamphlet, we had a pretty solid idea of what to expect. So I'm thinking we should use this route. So what about you, Chisa? So I wonder if she's going to give some input or just ignore them. No response. Chisa? Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and I know that I'm stopping right in the middle of an event or a scene. So next episode, we're going to see what is bothering Chisa. The fact that she's all gloomy and depressed since the Bond Festival, and is reluctant to talk about this with anyone, including the close people, Emily and Hiroki. And I'm pretty sure it's because, well, Chisa realized that her life is quite small compared to what Emily and Hiroki have, because they're both from mainland, whereas Chisa's born on the islands and pretty much lived her whole life on the islands. And it's maybe time for Chisa to go to mainland as well and see what life is like outside of the Ogasawara world. And it kind of reminds me of this one film called The Legend of 1900, where we have this main character whose whole life's on the ship. He was born on it because the immigrants left him behind. And then there was an employee that was going to take care of him, but then he died. So pretty much this boy grew up all alone on the ship, nowhere to go. And, well, I'm going to leave it here because I may spoil the rest. But there's one thing that he's really good at, and it's playing piano. But because he doesn't want to leave the ship, nobody really recognized him. But anyways, with all that in mind, I'll see you in next episode.